Test, test. Test, test. How delayed?
Okay, as long as it. Check.
That is funny. Guys. In the room, yeah. Okay, swim team can. Whew.
You want to go in the middle?
We're just starting to swim for.
Swim and dive team.
Yeah, because I don't really know. Willie. So when we do like the dive coach, is it just gonna be her, like there's not gonna, or is she gonna come and like switch with Coach Julius, or how are we doing that? Can we just add her? Because that's like it's swim and dive. Okay, and will the swim like athletes stay there, or will it just be her as a coach and okay. Wait. So just the coach? Okay. So we're just gonna do you and then these two, and then I'll follow you up by yourself. Oh, you can if you want. This is our first one.
I feel nervous.
Do you want to,
nervous.
Brett, do you want in the middle or do you want whatever?
I don't know. Where do the coaches usually sit? I don't even know.
I would say the coach sits over there, and then you two right here. And then I should probably make this because you guys are not.
Fine. You guys seem so calm and
Okay, we're
collected.
going
Wow.
live here in about 5 seconds. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our very first winter sports press conference. Today, we're going to be highlighting the beginning of our winter sports teams. We'll begin with swim. I'll ask a few questions, and then I'll open up to audience questions. First, I'd like to introduce head coach Brett Julius. Coach, would you like to introduce the athletes you brought with you today?
We have Tucker Talbot and Ella Klug.
All right. So I'm going to start with the questions. First question is for all three of you. Any of you guys can answer. What are your expectations for this swim season?
Well, as the head coach, my expectations for the team is that we are going to hone in on our technique this year and really just start to see times drop. And we have a lot of different levels of swimmers, and so I'm excited to see my beginner swimmers improve, as even my novice swimmers. So it's exciting because we're going to see it on all levels.
Right. Okay, Tucker?
Yeah, to piggyback off what she said, I feel like we have a lot of levels right now, and I feel like we have a lot of fresh swimmers that we could definitely improve on. And yeah, I feel like we have a lot of potential for this season. It's just building this year so we can be great next year.
Okay, Ella?
Mine's kind of the same as well, like improvement for not only me but the team, and also like team togetherness, because having a close knit team is always really great.
Perfect. All right, and then this one's just for you, Coach Julius. What are you looking forward to the most as this being your first year as the swim head coach?
Well, my relationship with swimming is I started swimming as a 4-year-old, and I have swam on a lot of different levels, and starting with just being part of a club team, and we have a club team here in North Platte, and then swimming on a high school level and then collegiate level. The things that I really love about swimming is the fact that, one, you always become close with your team, and two, because swimming is hard, you guys work together to support each other and motivate each other. And I think that's a lifelong lesson that you take anywhere you go. And so I'm excited to just see my swimmers be able to be on a close team, but also to try things that are hard.
Okay. So last year, this is for you two. You guys were pretty successful as a swim team. A lot of them were seniors that broke a lot of records. So what are your guys' goals for this year as a lot of those seniors leaving? Like, how are you guys going to step up as leaders this year?
Yeah, we had 2 pretty great that graduated last year, and I feel like we have a lot of new freshmen and sophomores just joining the team, as I said earlier, that really helped, I think, are going to build this team to what it once was. And I feel like us more junior, senior this year, we can just get better and trying to break those records and keep becoming a better swim team.
Basically the same as what he said again. But like, yeah, just our improvement in our times, because those seniors had records, and our goal is always to get faster records and stuff like that, and also like building our team from ground level back up again.
Okay. All right. And then back to Coach Julius. So we all know that the rec has been rebuilt right now. So how has the building of the new facilities had an impact on this season?
So strangely enough, it really hasn't had a big impact because the rec center planned ahead of time, and they made sure that we could keep our competition pool until the new one was built. Thank you. I would say I'm excited. I mean, we're ecstatic we're getting a new facility, and Bob Barr came to me and said, can we have the North Platte colors? And I was so excited to know that it's going to be our pool. And so you'll see that with the new build. And then I'm just excited to be able to host meets in town and bring communities here to compete and to show off our new facility.
For Tucker and Ella, what events or skills are you personally focusing on improving the most this year?
Focusing on improving my 100 breast time. I feel like that could be eventually an event that I could do well in the next few.
Yeah, I'm trying to work on my 100 fly and 50 free. I feel like I could both place and make finals in both those events this year or next year.
Right. And then what are you guys most excited for this season?
I feel like just the opportunity that we have, new coaches, fresh team, and a new pool coming next year. I feel like we really have a ground base that we can just build from, and it's just going to get better from here.
Yeah, same kind of thing again, because knows what to say. But like new instruction, new things we can learn, new people.
Perfect. All right. And then at this time, I'll open it up to the audience. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
Paxton Gordon here with the North Platte Post, talking to Coach. We talked about technique and trying to bring lap times down. What is something that the team can do just outside of getting stronger to really help bring that down? Because it's more minute than just say kick harder, add a couple of pounds of muscle on. So what would you do to, whether it be someone who's in the freestyle or in the butterfly, to make sure that they can find that just little extra pace to bring the times down for this year?
So a lot of times when you swim, because you are swimming back and forth, it's easy to turn yourself onto cruise control and not think. And one of the things I want to teach the kids is to swim mindfully. So what am I doing with my hands? What am I doing with my arms? Am I, kicking my legs and engaging all parts of your body? And when the moment that a swimmer can engage all of that, they start to realize that when they have a strong catch, when they have a good finish, when they have a great start. And it is about the art of swimming. It's at this level, especially with even these two, if you want to get better, you have to engage in that process to cut off those nano of seconds.
And to piggyback a little bit also off the new rec center, having it, putting the Bulldog colors into it as a sense of pride, how does it make you feel? And this is also for the swimmers as well, to see that when you do have a home meet this year, which is also always happy to have, that it's going to be a place that has the colors that make it almost feel like it's an extra home field advantage for you guys.
I am very excited so next year is when we'll be able to be there. This year will be kind of the ending of an old chapter. Next year, just being able to host, and I mean, the facility they're building it's dynamic. And I really do believe it's going to bring a lot of teams to us. We sit on the western side of Nebraska, and a lot of times we miss out on a lot of the competition that's in the city. And we haven't had a lot to offer, but I think that with a new pool, people are going to be knocking on our doors to be part of what we're doing. So I'm super excited.
Same thing for the swimmers. What does it feel like, even though you're closing the chapter on the old rec center and opening up a new one next year, what do you think it'd be to as she talked about, having that opportunity to see so many different types of competition come into the city, and for you guys to also rep that home field pride and really make that pool your own battlegrounds?
I feel like just to have our own home pool to practice in and show off what we've practiced, it makes us really proud, first of all. And second of all, like with us having a home field now, it brings in so much different types of competition from not only Western, but also maybe some Eastern cities as well.
Yeah, I've never been able to have like a home field advantage in swim, and I feel like having that for once will bring more kids to our team even too, because with those new facilities that will bring kids that like, oh, this swim thing kind of feels fun. They'll join the team and they'll love it and all that, and I feel like it doesn't just give us competitive advantage, it also gives us a team advantage too.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for that question. Any other questions from the audience? No? All right. So we're just going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll be back with the head dive coach.
you.
All right, and we are back with the head dive coach, Tamara Vijo. All right, so first I'm just going to start off with some questions, and then again we'll open it up to the audience.
Good.
So tell us about the dive program and how things are going so far.
Sure. I just started not that long ago, so I am building a team. We have 4 divers right now that are brand new divers, pretty much very little experience, and so we're just learning the technique, just doing the basics right now, learning forward approach, back approach, all those things. So we're just kind of going step by step right now.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
What are some goals you have for those divers this season?
So my goals are to build confidence and to give them a strong foundation to improve. So they're young still, so I'm excited for the future. They've already made progress. We've only had a week of practice, and they've already made a ton of progress. Just taking feedback really well, and so my goals for them are just to build a foundation, a routine that can help them to continue to grow and be able to compete.
Yeah, and how was it for you taking on this new role?
Exciting. It was kind of a surprise, and I was a diver in high school here at North Platte for my sophomore, junior, and senior year, and I loved it. It was just some of the best times I had, and so when this opportunity came up, I was really excited to be able to be a part of it. Yeah.
What's like your favorite dive to teach?
Oh, my favorite dive to teach is probably any of the inward dive group because it really is kind of a brain teaser, and it's a scary dive for a lot of people. So it's one of my favorites. Yeah.
And what are you most excited for this season?
I'm most excited just to see where it goes. I want to. Like I said before, I want to build the diving team, and there's nothing but potential right now, so I'm excited to see that.
Perfect. All right, and then this is the time where I'm going to open up questions to the audience. Got one.
Hi,
Hi.
Jake Dreilinger, North Platte Telegraph.
Hi.
So I know North Platte has had a history of divers, making it to state,
Mm-hmm.
and I know this year is a lot of turnover. Is there anyone you can really see that can make, or any group of girls and boys that could make that jump into maybe qualifying for state this year?
It's hard to say. I think it's really early. We do have some talented divers, but like I said, they are just learning the basics right now. So it really depends on how hard they want it. If they want it, I think they can definitely put in the time, and there's still time to do that. So it really comes down to what they're going to spend their time on, if they're going to put in the extra work that it takes. Yeah.
So is it safe to say it's a kind of a year for them to learn it, and by maybe next year or even 2 years that you could really see them making a splash?
Yeah, definitely. The other thing is, like, with diving, it's not only technique, but it's definitely a mental game. So, getting over the fear is a huge thing, and that takes a lot of practice and like some help to do. So, I think that's the biggest factor. I think that would keep them from that. Yeah.
Paxton Gordon with the North Platte Post. You talked about that fear, and each sport has its own mental blocks when it comes to what could be a hurdle for a young team to develop. And swim also does. What would you, dive? Sorry.
Yeah.
What would you quantify as a fear that you might see be the leading cause for some early struggles, but something that could be overcome later on?
Sure, I think the fear of failure. Mostly, they're afraid of not getting it right. So that's the biggest thing. And there's a danger to it. There's a healthy fear, is what I've told them this week. Is like, it's okay to be afraid of what you're doing, because like we definitely need to be. I would be worried if you weren't a little bit afraid of falling off the diving board a little too hard. So it's just a matter of learning to focus on the technique, to do your breathing exercises, to visualize the dive before you go out there, so that you can overcome those fears. I think that's a huge thing.
And how could you maybe, because young adults really sometimes tunnel in on that fear of messing up. How do you try to work on to make sure that it is okay, a kind of a positive environment to say, hey, it's okay that you can mess up?
Yeah.
Because again, this dive is very precise.
Yes.
And even if you're just a millimeter off or you're off when you get to your lead up, that could throw everybody off. So how are you going to this year just instill into them that, yes, it's okay to mess up, but what can we learn from each experience?
So we have talked about what we say to ourselves. So we don't say I can't do it, and we don't say, oh, I messed that up or I failed that. It's I tried something and it didn't work. And so, I mean, just little things like that. Really, I want them to learn the self-talk that that I can do this, like, focusing on what they can control. And that is like I said, breathing techniques is really important to kind of get your heart rate back down and to be able to focus on what you need to focus on. Because if you're focusing on the fears, then you're not going to be able to do the skill that you're trying to accomplish. So that's what we've been working on is the mental, like, self-talk, the breathing, and then also coming up with a routine and just repeating that because the routine makes you feel safe, makes you feel like you are like you know what's going to happen next. So I think that's where we're at right now.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions from the audience? No? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a few minutes with our powerlifting team. All right, and we are back with our powerlifting team. I'd like to introduce Coach Artie Parker. Right?
Hello.
And Coach would like to introduce the athletes that you brought with you today.
Sure. With me, I've got Maya Porter, Cole Tomlinson, Grace Wilkie, and Abby Hankla.
All right. All of you, this can be a question for all of you. Would you guys like to talk about this home meet that you guys had this past weekend?
Well, I think it was a big success. The girls won the overall for the triangle that we had. The boys came in second in an insanely close competition, just like 14 points split the three teams, so it was pretty close. Several school records were set. A lot of personal records were set. It was a great way to start off the season.
I think that it was our best one so far, and it's just getting better every year. And moving forward, I think everyone else is going to do pretty good with it.
Yeah, it was definitely super good, especially for the new people. They all got to kind of like learn how things work out and like the rules and stuff for it all.
Yes, I agree. I feel the more we do it, the more we get used to it, and the better off our team gets overall.
I also agree on that. I think that next year it's going to be even better because we're getting used to how everything works.
Then for you athletes, what are your guys' goals for this year?
My goal is to make it to Texas for nationals, which we can qualify in Lexington and I think Early Bird, right?
No, we can't qualify for early bird. We have three different qualifiers that are coming up in the next month and a half to make it to nationals in Texas. The first one is on December 20th in Lexington.
Okay, so I'm already qualified, so I think my goal is going to be top 5, maybe top 6. I'm definitely more happy about it this year because I think I'm more prepared because last year it was kind of like everything was super new and it was actually really scary, so.
I'm also qualified for nationals, so my hope this year is placing at least first or second at state and on the totem pole at nationals.
I'm already qualified, but my goal is to get first at nationals since I already got third last year. And I just think, yeah.
And what is the team dynamic like for all of you?
Can you explain?
What does that mean?
So, like, how are you guys as a team? Are you close? You guys are co-ed, so you're different than most teams. Are you guys encouraging? Like, what's it like?
We all think of each other as a family. Sometimes we fight and bicker, and sometimes we're closer than anyone could ever be.
I agree with that. I think I definitely have some like sibling like relationships with people on the team, and I definitely fight with them, but I also love them to death, so.
Yes, along with that, we definitely have different groups within the sport, but we're all a family supporting each other at every event we go to.
Yeah, I definitely feel like we're one big family and we all support each other in their goals. And at every single meet, we're just cheering each other on.
I have about 33 children, so if anybody wants to like Venmo me money to feed them or anything like that, that'd be great.
All right, and then Coach Parker, what are your expectations for this season?
Wow. So, I mean, last year when we went to nationals, we ended up 4th in the nation in co-ed, which was beyond expectations. That was crazy, considering we were competing against teams from, I think it was 19 different states last year up in Wisconsin. And we were competing against teams from Chicago and Boston and big schools like that. And we're 10 kids from North Platte, so it was crazy. But, I mean, I think for this year, I think the expectation's honestly a little bit higher. Our girls' team should be super strong this year. We lost some senior boys that from last year that we're having to step up and replace. But our girls' team, man, I mean, we're so stacked with juniors. And we do have some solid seniors, don't get me wrong, but we're so stacked from top to bottom with the girls. We fill in so many different weight divisions that I would anticipate the girls are going to win multiple tournaments this year. I have no reason to believe that we won't have several state champions. And currently we have 9 kids already qualified for nationals. I could easily see that number being between 14 and 16 kids pretty easily. We have several that are right on the verge. And we have several that I don't think have figured out how strong they actually are yet. They're still learning how to compete. They're still learning what really going through the grind means. And I think it's exciting for me. I'm really anticipating a big year, not just for the girls, for the boys also, and for our co-ed team. I look for big things.
All right. At this point, I'll open up the questions to the audience.
Paxton Gordon here with North Platte Post again. Just pardon my pun, but this program has always had a strong foundation. And this is not just only for coach, but for everybody in general. What do you think makes this program not only so successful, but so well-rounded that you can have years and where the team feels different in terms of the people that are coming in and out, but still feel like you are probably one of, if not the best, in your guys' mind, and even also on the sheets in the state and potentially in the nation?
I think a lot of it is. I've got a group now that's been with me for all 4 years that we've been an actual program. I started doing this 5 years ago, but we became a team for real 4 years ago. And so I've got kids now, like Cole's been going through all 4 years. The three girls here have all been here for 3 years. So I think it's just that it's kind of like a machine. You kind of replace parts. And as long as the rest of the vehicle's running, then those new parts work well. And so they really help me out in the weight room too, because obviously with 38 to 40 kids, I can't be at every rack correcting every flaw on every kid every minute of every practice. So it takes leadership from my seniors and from this group here. And this group this isn't to exclude other kids either. We've got just a really solid leadership group. In fact, we have a leadership team that we meet and we talk about how things are going. And I think that they just really help each other and they help guide the younger people. And then they come to me and say, hey, this is what we're seeing. I think this person needs help or whatever. And it's an amazing dynamic. It's just works so well.
Kind of forgot the question.
It's just asking about what makes, this program have such a strong foundation.
It's not necessarily all the people that come in and out. It's all about their minds and how they're thinking of it, and you have to go in with a strong sense of I can do this, I'm gonna do this, and not just the mind but the heart everyone has and the strength from others.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But then I think also Parker plays a huge role in it. He's definitely not necessarily a coach, but more of like a parental figure, because he truly cares about us and he tells us, and you can definitely tell. And then I think we started out as kind of a smaller group, 20-ish kids.
Well, the first year we had 18.
18, yeah. So that I think that really helped get everyone kind of close, and they kind of got a better, not coaching, but Parker was there to pay more attention to everyone's kind of problems and stuff. So that really started a good solid foundation. And then as more people came, the people from before could again help everyone else out. And I think that was amazing.
And of course, as you guys went to nationals last year, competing against some of the biggest, you talked about Chicago and some really big cities that bring some really big competition. How does it make you feel to know that, again, as you just talked about here in Nebraska, a small town kind of like us are going up against those Chicagos and some of the bigger cities, and even for the lifters themselves to just see other type of competition out of the state?
For example, Maya, we're talking a sophomore at the time, placing third in the nation. It's crazy. And both girls placed top 10 down here too. And so it's just, and this was all at the sophomore level. And so it's a lot of schools won't even bring anybody below junior or senior. I talked to several coaches and they're just yeah, you're bringing what? You've got sophomores here? And I'm like, well, this is our team. So I think the experience of going up against some of those big schools really prepared them for going forward this year. They kind of know what it takes. I think to a degree, it made some people say, oh, hey, there's powerlifting other places. In the state of Nebraska, it's not a sanctioned sport by the NSAA, so a lot of people aren't aware of it. A lot of people don't understand it. I think it's easy to go unnoticed. So yeah, when you can open people's eyes a little bit, it's always fun. Yeah, it's fun to kind of put it out there and say, hey, we can do this too. So
For
that's
me,
all I have.
for me not competing last year, I thought it's never about you thinking about the other people. It's always you against yourself, and then if you really want to, you focus on the other person a little bit. Like last weekend at our home meet, it was a triangular, and this kid's beat me every time for the past 2 years. He's from McCook, and I thought I was going to get blown out, and I still beat him by 10 because I focused on myself. And he focused too much on me. So he jumped too much weight.
You're done. Okay. I think nationals is going to be a gazillion times better this year. I know last year, as a sophomore, it was really scary going into that and not knowing what it was going to be like because no one's ever done this before last year. Well, actually, no, Abby didn't. But I think going into this year, I'm definitely more prepared and more excited, and I'm less worried because I know kind of what competition is going to be like. I know like what the environment is, and I'm not going to be as nervous and scared, I think.
That's all I got. Thank you so much.
No? All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
We'll be back in a few minutes with girls wrestling.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
You're live.
What'd she say?
You're live. All right, and we're back with girls wrestling. So, with Coach Matthew Paith, would you like to introduce the girls you brought with you today?
Yeah, so junior Gigi Rivas and senior Leah Hazen.
All right. So, Coach Paith is new this year. So, what are core values you want to emphasize with this team this year?
Yeah, us over me. Wrestling is fun, right? We're having fun with it. We're not worried about the wins or losses. We're just going to have fun with it.
Can you give us a preview of your team and how it's going so far?
Yeah, so far the girls have been working really hard. 2-a-day practices at 6 a.m. and at 4 are tough to ask high school athletes to do, but when with wrestling such a short window from the time we start to the time we compete, we have to maximize the time that we have with each other. And they've been slaying it. They've been killing it.
And then for you girls, what are you guys most focused on proving and improving this year?
I'm working on improving my skills, my determination. I worked really hard, and I want to show people that I've been working really hard.
I'm improving on my skills as well, and I just want to show people that anyone can do whatever they put their mind to.
Okay. Back to you, Coach Paith. What has been the biggest adjustment stepping into this new role?
Coaching girls. I'm honest, right? They're a lot different than the male athletes, right? You have to know when boys you can kind of hard gas, full throttle all the time. Girls, you have to be able to adjust and be able to pivot your practice plan based on the mood in the room. It's an exciting challenge. I have coached girls before, but not as a head coach, right? I've coached them at the international level, freestyle, but this is my first head coaching high school gig and for the women, and I'm pretty excited about it.
What are you guys most excited for this year?
I'm excited for the new challenges. I do think it's a really good opportunity to grow our program, and I am excited to see how much it's going to grow in the next couple of years.
I'm excited to turn our team into sort of like a family. I just want to see how these girls interact with each other, and hopefully we can all just be together.
And last year, your guys' only state qualifier was Jade Stockton, and she graduated. So how are you guys planning on stepping up this year and filling that role?
I feel like with how much we've worked together, I feel we will bring each other up. We've really bonded this year more than last year and the previous years, and I do think that we will do a lot better coming forth.
There's a lot of girls showing that they're working hard at practice. I hope we have, 4 or 5 state qualifiers this year and hopefully a state placer.
All right, and at this point, I'm going to open up the questions to the audience.
Paxton Gordon here with North Platte Post. The girls' team has had some success in terms of its state qualifications. Had one last year, and if I remember, the year prior had 3 that made it to state. This is for the players. Really, take me through your off-season sort of mentality and what you guys talked about, some of the things you focused on, but maybe from a technicality standpoint, what was some of the things you guys pinpointed to that you wanted to work on early so that you can get a much better start to, as you talked about, go to state and bring a couple other members with you?
I feel like over the summer, I've realized that I needed to take things more seriously, and I wanted to be that inspiration for people. I wanted to show them that working hard does bring you good. So I made it my goal this year to help lead people and help show people that hard work gets you where you want to be.
I've made it my goal this year to show people, that I will do whatever it takes to be successful.
And this question here is for Coach. a lot of talk also is about the technicality of what people can do, but also there's a big mental aspect because it's a very physical, very grueling type of sport that goes many rounds, and there's going to be rounds where you're on the back foot. What are some of the things you've implemented early, maybe to help kind of be that stepping point for the girls' confidence, but also for their mentality as rounds go on and also as the season goes on?
Yeah, I think bringing that family first, right? We preach that every day. We're a family, and seeing the girls pick each other up, it's inspiring. No one quit during conditionings. No one's quit during two-a-days. My thing is that we just need to wrestle hard. We're not training for wins and losses. We're training for fights. And the girls know every time they step on the mat, it's a fight, and we're not focusing on the records. There's in the high school girls wrestling calendar, there's 4 tournaments that matter: district, state, women's nationals, because that's a Team USA qualifier, and Fargo. And so anything before districts is just a barometer, is what I call it, where we're gauging where they're at. We're coming back, making small adjustments, going out competing again, making those so we're peaking at the right time when it comes to districts.
Yeah, it's the same question back to you. You plenty experience when it comes. You talked about coaching, not just at the boys but the girls level. What do you think is an element that you bring this year to North Platte that can help not only leave a stamp for you as a coach, but also to really be a facilitator for this program, not just for this year, but build that foundation going forward? Yeah,
so I'm very fortunate that I've been able to make a sport that has given me so much in my life into a career. I've coached at pretty much every level you can think of. I've competed at every level. I was competing up to 2020 trying to make the Olympic team. I've spent time at the Olympic Training Center. So all of the knowledge, all of that stuff that I've gone through as a professional development aspect of it, I think brings something to North Platte that maybe they've never had before. I've gone through the Team USA Wrestling coaching certifications, and I'm two steps away from being a gold level coach, which there's only 130 of them in the country. The next step for me is to coach a team in USA and out of the country, and I'm in the pool for that, and I'll know my assignment in March, hopefully May at the latest.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Good luck on the season this year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Those are all the audience questions. Thank you guys so much for coming. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with boys wrestling.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. back with boys wrestling. I'd like to introduce head coach Cameron Riggs. Would you like to introduce the athletes you've brought with you today?
Yeah, this is Will Ratchin, 215. This is Kirk Wilson, 144. And this is Tyler Hanneborg, 126. All my seniors.
All right, and you are a new coach this year.
Yep.
So what are you expecting for this season so far?
I'm just excited to start building a new culture here at North Platte High. The boys have been working hard and staying focused and giving me good effort and attitude. My goal as a coach is it's not about the wins and losses, but how they are as people. So our motto this year is Life Champions, and I want them to be life champions on and off the mat, doing the right things, even when no one's watching.
And how has it been for you stepping into this new role?
I'm super excited. This is something that I've always wanted to do my whole entire life. I'm really blessed to have the opportunity to work with these guys. I have a great group of young men, and I'm just excited to get started.
Okay, and as for the players, what are your guys' goals for this season, personal and team?
My personal goal for the season, probably win a state championship, and then for team, I'd love to get second or better at state and at state duels.
Win a state title, and then definitely place top 3 at the state tournament, and then state duels, probably top 2.
Individual, I would like to win a state title. For the team, I would like to bring back a second or first place trophy from state duels. And then I'd like to bring back a district championship.
Okay. Will, did you attend state last year?
Yeah, I qualified twice for state.
Okay. So since all of you guys qualified for state last year, what are your goals for this year to try to improve what you guys did last year?
I've been in the weight room a lot this summer and doing conditioning and stuff, and just wrestling a lot. So that's really it, but I don't know.
Trained a lot in the off season and not leaving it in the ref's hand at the state tournament.
I'd like to improve in every position. At state, kind of got beat 1-0 match, but I'd like to just improve in all the positions that I can and be the best I can on and off the mat.
Great, and I'll open it up for audience questions now.
Hi, two-part question, but first I'm going to start with Ty. Ty, 2 years ago, you were competing for a state championship, and then you came up just a little bit short. And last year, it was a 4th place finish, right?
Yep.
With that experience in mind, how are you going to bring those into this season?
I think I got a lot of let me think.
I guess, how did those experiences, making it, so far, coming away with 2 medals, kind of help prepare you to go into your senior year?
I feel like I got a lot of experience compared to all the younger kids at my weight, and I think that's what's going to do the job this year, is that I have a lot of experience on other kids.
And then my second part for Kirk, it was a 3rd place finish for you last year, right? Can you just talk about that experience and kind of going that distance and how that's going to help you go into this year?
I took a hard loss in the quarterfinals, and then that night it was pretty hard. I didn't know it was hard to finish the tournament, but being able to battle back and not lose a match in the end of the tournament, just plan on not losing this year.
Then for any of the wrestlers, Coach Riggs comes in with 4 state titles and an undefeated high school season. How did that kind of, help you guys? Does any of his knowledge kind of help rub off on you guys going into this year?
Him having college experience, it's helping our practices get a lot more intense and advanced. So he's improving all the younger kids and all the kids that have been here for a while.
Paxton Gordon here with North Platte Post. Again, this is for the athletes. Been to state many a times and have had varying levels of great success. From a technical standpoint, coming into this season, what was one specific thing you guys really wanted to work on to make that just little extra push so that you can get over that hump and hopefully bring home state titles here for North Platte? And anyone of you can answer first.
I wanted to work on my offense, really put points on the board this year, and just go tech fall kids.
I'm the same with him. I need to get better. I needed to get better at neutral, and I have, and that's about it.
I agree with them, but I think just changing the culture in the room was really important, and I think that's something Riggs has done a great job at, and hopefully I can continue.
And you talked, this will be directed towards coach as well. You talked about, setting that foundation and that culture. A lot of people like to talk about the technique and how important it is in a match, but also how much value do you think a properly happy culture or a really good culture can bring to a team, not just from a day-to-day basis, but in terms of long-term with goals like making state, not just for one individual, but for many on the team?
Yeah, I think everything starts with culture. From the aspect of them being brothers, them having each other's back, them pushing each other in the room, because if you don't have that culture to back up your team, you're never going to have that true bond that a team needs to have to be successful. And I think that's something we're building here. I'm pushing them every single day. We're doing the right things, and I just want these guys to rely on their training. The things that we've been doing every day, it's hard. This is not an easy sport, and we've went through some tough practices, but I want these guys to remember at the end of the year, hey, I put on all this time and effort, and I worked so hard, and Coach pushed me so hard, but he got us prepared and battle ready. So that's kind of what I'm building here, and the culture, it starts with the kids. I have a great group of guys, not only these three, but the other guys as well. Everyone's seeming to buy in. I'm getting great effort and attitude every single day, and they're living the right lifestyle, doing the right thing. So that's all I could ask for as a coach.
And my last question for you, this program has been so successful for so many different years with Coach Hall and then Coach Little right beside him. Stepping into these shoes, what is one thing I know the season is going to get underway, and we'll maybe reflect upon this at the end, but what is one thing you wish to have a lasting impression when it comes to your impact on the program for the history books and hopefully for a long time here?
Me personally, for my goal for the team, like I said, life champions. If we take care of doing the right things, even when no one's watching, making sure that we're being good people, being there for our community, taking care of each other, that's more important to me than winning or losing. Growing young men, leaders in their community, and leaders to each other, a brotherhood. That's more important than any other success.
Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you so much, guys.
James Parrish, North Platte Bulletin, and I remember when I met you just over 10 years ago, I asked you about what you do well, and you said that when all else fails, I go back to fundamentals. And how does you teach the fundamentals? How does that stay with you, and how are you teaching it to the guys here?
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of drilling, really focusing in on the technique at the beginning of the season. Like I said, I've been pushing them hard. They've been doing all the right things, a lot of stance and motion, just going back to the basics. Everything in wrestling starts with the basics, and if you don't have a truly good understanding of the basics, then you're never going to be able to compete at a high level. So we're really nailing the basics, making sure that we're staying in good position, so then we're able to score points when we get into matches.
All right, thank you guys so much. We'll be back after the break with basketball.
Good job, boys.
Okay. All right, we're back with head coach Jimmy Pack. We only have a quick minute because I got to get back to practice, so we're just going to ask him some questions here. All right, tell us how the team looks so far.
Team looks great. We've got a little bit more size than we've had the last couple of years. We've got a couple guys coming in about 6'4", a few at 6'3". We still got our sub 5'9" guys, but that's all right. They can shoot and they're fast, so they're working extremely hard. Couldn't ask for more work out of this group. They showed up all summer, showed up to camp. We played over 20 games, I think almost 30. In our team camps this summer, so they put in a lot of work and a lot of effort starting in June, and that went all the way through July. I couldn't hardly keep these guys out of the gym this summer.
All right. What are some key things that needed to happen for you to reach your goals for this season?
We got to continue with that hard work. I do not question this group's loyalty or investment or buy-in. I know that they're committed to having the most successful season that they can. Obviously, we've got to hit our shots and things. We're really hoping to use our quickness and our athleticism to get out and run on the break. But we always hang our hat on defense. We always have, and we always will.
All right, and I know you got to get back to practice, so I'll open it up to the audience now.
Hey, Coach Paxton Gordon here, of course, North Platte Post. Last season, record-wide, not the greatest, but I think you talked about, and an inclination every time we had our conversation, was that work ethic. And how do you see that continuing? And you already talked about seeing that, but where do you think it started from? And how do you think it's trickled from not just the upper-level guys in the varsity level, but throughout all of the JV into freshmen into reserves as well?
That's what North Platte is all about. We're a working-class community, and yeah, our record wasn't the best last year, but regardless of that, those kids never stopped working. They showed up every day. They put the work in. They knew they had an uphill challenge, and they accepted that. And I think even with those seniors that left last year, they left their mark that way. And these seniors this year have certainly picked up that baton. And, we played a lot of sophomores, and I think they bought in last year. They're juniors now, so they've got a year of experience. Those freshmen coming to camp over the summer, realizing that there is a huge shift from middle school to high school. And the sophomores this year realizing there's a huge shift from freshmen to, maybe JV or possibly even varsity basketball for some of them. We explain where we set the bar, what we expect out of them, and if you want to be part of North Platte basketball, you kind of got to reach that. And I think they understand that, and they believe in that. They want to work hard. They want to have expectations.
When it comes to an X's and O's standpoint, anything really changing with this year's team, or are you still kind of going to stick to the same that we saw last season, even now that you actually have a good bit of more size coming into the program?
We've talked to our two bigger guys about when they're cutting through, we're still running our offense, but when they're moving through, if they have an opportunity to sit down on the block, let's sit down on the block. We've gotten after the guards almost every day so far this season about if we're asking them to do that, you guys need to be making sure that you're looking into there. We cannot be a live and die by the three kind of team. That's not our strong suit. We're asking our big guys to work, so let's reward them. So no big changes there, maybe just a little wrinkle that maybe we're looking for something a little different that we didn't really have the opportunity to look for last year.
And from a continuity standpoint, got a lot of returners this year compared to that you did the year prior. I think you have upwards of almost 30 points coming back per game from certain guys. How big do you think that is, not just for this year's development, but also maybe for the years to come to have a steady foundation to not only propel this team going forward, but also for the years to come after them?
It's huge. My wife kind of got after me last year because I was getting really frustrated, and she looked at me and she said, they've played 5 varsity games, calm down. For some of the sophomores, they went from freshman ball to playing varsity. There was no figuring it out at the JV level. They just jumped right into the fire. It's kind of sink or swim. So there is no learning curve this year. They know what to expect. They know the intensity and speed of the game. So with all that returning, and then even our seniors, the two of them, Caleb Odell was one of the leaders in Class A with 3-point percentage. Sam Ewing had a ton of experience. Harper missed last year with the torn ACL, but he brings a lot of leadership back from that level. So he's got a little bit to figure out, but he's doing excellent so far. We've got some good sophomores that are looking well. I'm not sure how much they're going to participate in the varsity level, but there's certainly an opportunity there for a couple of those guys to step in. But our returners are everything to us right now.
Coach Zoe, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So you start out with the 2 games at home for the season, then you go on a very long road trip. Can you just talk about how playing on the road so much early on is going to make this team better?
A lot of windshield time. I've already talked to the seniors about there's no shortage of team bonding time for us this season. So let's not look at it as a negative. Let's look at it as a positive. Can we come up with things to do on the bus to kind of stay engaged? I think I've made Coach O'Connor proud to know that I don't let the varsity players sleep on the bus. I kind of get a little upset with the JV guys as well. You know, when you sleep and your body shuts down, it's hard to get it going again. So we try to, you know, find things to do, whether it's a game or something like that. We stop at Bosselman's and have some Subway. I know the Bosselman manager by first name basis now. He might, I think he's going to invite me to his wedding, maybe be the godfather of his first son. I don't know. But, you know, just stuff like that to build on the bus, come up with things to do. These guys they get along great. They're great kids. They're all get good grades. So I'm sure there'll be some homework being done. It'll be a bit of a challenge, but we're accepting that challenge. We good? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Coach Pack. We'll be back with girls basketball in just a few minutes. I had good question. Check, check, check. Count me down. All right, and we're back with girls basketball. We're here with head coach. Would you like to introduce the girls you have with you today?
Here with us, and we got a junior with us, Josie Douglas. Two really good leaders on our team, and they do a lot of stuff for us as far as getting people on the right page and talking and doing things well with an organization standpoint. So they'll do a good job here today too, I'm sure.
All right. What is the goal for the season for you two?
First and foremost, I want to say just having fun with our teammates, working hard at every practice, getting better every day.
See?
Gosh. I didn't know what you said. Yeah, I can tell you. I'm stuck.
What are your goals for the season?
Just mostly grow as a team, be the best we can, and get better every day.
Coach Hammond, can you give us a preview of the team this season so far?
Yeah, we're going to be a really young group this year. Josie comes back with a lot of playing experience from last season. JC Burke had pretty good experience last year, and Chloe Hanneborg. But outside of those three, we don't have a ton of returning experience. We have some like Ava that were able to get in some games and get their feet wet a little bit, but the roles changed so much this year compared to last year that we've got a lot of things to learn about who we are and what we're going to do. I love the group and how hard they compete and practice every day. This is a group I can be a little bit tougher with and a little bit harder on because they will compete and they'll get after each other. And I don't worry so much about hurt feelings as some groups that we have along the way. So these guys have done a really good job here through our first 10, 11 practices as far as setting a pretty good foundation of who we want to be and kind of where we want to go as a group.
All right. For you players, how would you describe the team's mentality heading into this season?
I would say we're just very open-minded, excited for change, excited to just have a new opportunity this year and hopefully get some more wins than we had last year.
Tosi?
Yeah, we definitely want to win, but also still growing because we are young. And
heading into next year to even be better.
All right, back to you, Coach Hammond. What areas of the game is the team focusing on improving the most this year?
We always start with defense. We're not big. We have a freshman, Nora World, that's about 6 foot tall, but after that, Josie's probably our next tallest person, about 5'9"-ish. So we're not going to be big, but defensively, we're going to be pretty tough and hard-nosed. We'll get out and pressure people, and that's where we're going to have to start pretty much with everything, is we're going to have to play as a group and really get into people. And our goal will be defensively to wear people down. By the time the fourth quarter hits, 2-point and 4-point runs turn into 6-point runs. And, we're not necessarily looking to go on a 14-0 run, but if we can get a 6-2 run and then a 8-3 run and we can put together some good stretches, the fourth quarter is where those things really start to show up because you wear people out. So I think, defensively, that's where we'll always start. And offensively, we want to be really aggressive. We have a very, very interchangeable group, pretty versatile in how we can play. We're going to try to play fast and with a lot of space, and we should have chances to opportunities to attack the hoop and try to score. So we want to be really aggressive in everything we do, offensively and defensively, and hopefully those two things kind of play together and, defense turns into offense and we get some easy buckets and we continue pressuring people.
And what are you guys most excited for this season?
Go.
I'm most excited for just to be with the team. Away trips are always really fun. All of us on the bus, we always have a great time.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the bond we have, especially coming from last year, is really strong. So I'm excited to continue that, and I'll be sad when it's over.
And this is the point where we're going to open up the questions to the audience.
Baxter Gordon here again with the North Platte Post. Coach, this program has had a small trickle in terms of leadership leaving, so you haven't really had to feel a massive youth intake. This feels like the first year where we can highlight a big youth intake coming into the team. What kind of has changed with your coaching style to not only accommodate this kind of reflection and having a very, very young team, but also what encourages you the most about kind of being a little youthful in terms of not only the varsity level, but as that trickles down through the rest of the program?
Yeah, we've been pretty lucky in the past to have pretty good leadership coming back year to year. And, this year we're a little unfortunate. Kiki Williams tore her knee up this summer, and she would have been one of our seniors coming back with some experience, So without her, we get pretty young pretty quick. And the challenge is, for me, every year's different. Every group's different in how kind of we can approach things. And like I kind of said before, these guys are willing to compete. They'll get after each other and enjoy doing it. So from a coaching standpoint, that makes it a lot easier for us, to be a little bit tough in practice and say hey, we can be better with this. Some groups don't take that quite as well. Some groups kind of get their feelings a little bit and don't always feel great about that. But these guys do a really good job of being tough and competing hard in practice. And even this summer when we were kind of putting all of our new parts together and we didn't have any clue really what we were doing other than just playing, we were always willing to play hard and compete. So, for us, that's the biggest thing, because if we can start with that, if we've got a group that'll work hard and trust each other and push each other to get better every day, we'll have a chance by the time we get to districts. And that's always our goal. By the time we get to districts, we want to be the best version of ourselves we can be. It's going to be a long journey to get there. There's going to be good, there's going to be bad, there's going to be everything in between. But by the time we get to district play, I really feel like we have a chance to be a really competitive group.
Now talking question here for the players. What independently did you guys work on this season, whether it be from a technique standpoint or even just in the weight room, did you guys focus on to take that next step for you guys this year?
I would say I just wanted to be a better leader, kind of include more positivity, more, right now, not everything's clicking. Not everything will click for few more weeks, but just kind of reminding everyone that we're still starting. We're still going to be a little rough, but we'll get there.
Yeah, I would also just add on that a little bit. Just bringing all the younger girls in, making sure that they know what they're doing, leading them, and I don't know. bring him in.
And then last question again for Coach. You guys hang your hat always on the defensive side of things, being that focal point that leads into the offense. Last season, it kind of overextended in some games where you fouled a little too quickly, sometimes early in the games, and your team got into foul trouble. How are you going to try, especially with a young group, that one of the key notions of a young group is sometimes fouling too quickly and getting into trouble? What are some of the things that you're trying to teach them to make sure that they still stay that same aggressive Bulldog defensive style, but not overextend themselves into hurting not only themselves, but giving some free points to the other team?
I think number one, we better be deep because we're probably going to foul. The way we play, that's always going to, especially early in the season, we're going to foul. That's part of it because until we get in, we can really compete in practice, and as coaches, we probably don't call nearly as many fouls as we should. So until we get into games and get some officiating, and we start to recognize, from one game, and that's always the thing, from one game to the next, every crew calls things a little different. We've just got to do a little bit better job this year, I think, of adjusting as it goes and just recognizing, like, hey, they called that foul. I got to keep my hands off a little bit more, and just recognizing that. I thought last year we were super aggressive defensively, and in games where they let us play, we were really good with those. And in games where they called a little bit more, we just didn't adjust as well. And I think that'll just be one of the things that, either A, we'll learn and we'll be able to be better at, or B, we'll just have to put somebody else in for a while and let them play super aggressively. Because for us, with our size, we're not going to be able to just sit back and let people come down the floor and play. We're going to have to get after people. So, whether that's the first 5 or the next 5, if we got to go 10 deep, I'm pretty confident we have kids that can come in and play right now, and they might not have experience, but they're going to play hard. So we'll just kind of have to live with that and hopefully grow, throughout the season.
And then before I let you go, offensively, what's a big emphasis you guys are going to have this season for the offensive side?
We got to push pace. We got to get quick outlets and run every chance that we get. And then when we do get into the offensive end, we got to be aggressive. Again, I think we have kids that can attack the hoop a little bit. I think we can get to the paint, whether it's to score or to kick out for shots. We need to be aggressive because for us, again, we're going to try to get post touches and we're going to use those to our advantage. But it's not going to be, kind of in the traditional, post up, throw it inside, let them go to work. It's going to have to be more created by movement, created by flashing across the middle of the paint, created by someone driving and dumping it down to our post players. That's probably more where we're going to get those touches from. So we've been working a lot on practice, just on that point of view of when we attack, how do our teammates react, where do we move, where are our kickouts, where are our dump passes. So for us, that's always probably going to be the number one thing we start with offensively is, are we being as aggressive as we should be?
Thank you so much, Coach.
All right. Last year you could just never really get it going. So, and you said that, that these girls, they have the talent and they want to do well, but they just don't quite know how to do it. So how much has that improved with experience?
Yeah, that's last year we felt like every week we had somebody hurt, somebody sick. We just really struggled to kind of find a good, consistent pathway towards a game week. So with this, with this new year, we never know how that stuff's going to shake out. We could end up, with injuries, with sickness again. That's just part of the 4-month season that is basketball. But trying on a daily basis in practice to kind of build that 8, 9, 10, 11 people that, when we do get into those situations, that we don't have as big a drop. When we get those kids in, that they'll know they can be aggressive. They'll know what we expect of them. And even though it might be a little bit further down the line, they're still going to play hard and they're still going to compete. And as a team, they're going to work really hard together.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Good luck with your scrimmage tonight. And that is going to wrap up our Winter Sports Press Conference. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck to all winter sports teams.